Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, dear friends, and welcome to another Divine Laws program where we study together the very laws that govern our lives and that are meant to direct us to everlasting serenity by means of becoming more useful to others as modeled by our Divine Master. So it is with much gratitude and in reverence to God and to the Master that we propose to study tonight question 947 as asked by Allan Kardec in the third part of the Spirit's book. We shall now read the question, then read the answer, comment on the answer, bring a couple highlights to our attention, and then propose a therapeutic exercise, closing these moments with feelings and thoughts of gratitude to God. Shall we then begin? We thank everyone who is here either live or on demand, forming this current of love and kindness on behalf of our brothers and sisters in much greater need than ourselves. The mentors of Kardec Radio are counting on all of us to multiply the good together. So thank you for joining this effort in both realms. Let us then be inspired by Kardec's work as well as the illuminated spirit's wisdom. In question 947, Kardec asks, can those who have become disheartened with necessity and who allow themselves to die of despair be considered as having committed suicide? A very important question for us to ponder. Let us learn what the mentors from on high have to say with regards to this matter. They respond to Kardec and all of us as suicide, but those who have caused it or those who could have prevented it are guiltier than those for whom clemency awaits. However, do you think they will be entirely absolved if they lacked firmness and perseverance, or failed to make the best use of their intelligence to get themselves out of their difficulties? They will be even more unfortunate if their despair was the child of pride. For example, if they were one of those whose pride paralyzed their intelligence, who would be ashamed at having to earn their living by manual labor, or who would prefer to die of starvation rather than descend from what they call their social position. Is there not 100 times more greatness and dignity in struggling against adversity, in braving the criticism of futile and selfish society, which only shows goodwill towards those who lack nothing, and which turns its back on you in your time of need? To throw away one's life because of the considerations of such society is a stupid measure, since society will not care about it the least. So the spirit mentors from on high, because they are under the command of the Master and have more experience than us in progressing spiritually, they are here to inspire us to move forward by embracing the divine laws first and foremost, even beyond human laws, because human laws would not see it as a crime necessarily if one took their physical life away because of a moment of distress. In our criminal code on the earth at this point in time, this is not considered to be a crime. However, before the moral eternal code of God, because God's laws are unchangeable, this is certainly a crime. Does that mean that God will punish us forever or point fingers at us? No, God will not punish us. However, our consciousness will alert us to our sense of duty before life. As it says in the answer, what if someone is facing extreme constraints? The spirit mentors are inviting us to not despair. How can we not despair? By having faith that God, who loves us, shall provide. In the book, for instance, dear friends, Memoir of a Suicide, we have the case of Geronimo that decides to take his life away because of financial distress. As a result of his act, he creates a domino effect that impacts his family multi generationally. So when we surrender to despair, we may lose sight of the impact that our actions shall have not only upon ourselves but upon others. So tonight, our exercise for the soul is to cultivate trust and patience. How shall we do so, beloved friends? Luckily, we have Mother Mary, the very mother of our Master, who has kindly and lovingly adopted all of us as an example of such level of faith, patience, and serenity. Upon the physical death of our Master, says Humberto de Campos in chapter 30 of the book Good News, Mother Mary never once surrendered to despair. She sought the good in the situation by remembering the moments when the Master healed and consoled, and decided to heal and console others herself by taking on the efforts of his disciples, by joining in this teamwork effort to spread the good in all directions. So Mother Mary used to receive in the tiny home of John the Evangelist and herself in Ephesus lines and lines of people who needed consolation, who wanted to find in her a little sparkle of her sun. And they found what they were looking for and more, because every time she saw one of these desperate brothers and sisters, she embraced them like a mother, and she affirmed to them that this too shall pass. So, inspired by the Master, of course, and Mother Mary, we shall practice within the next 24 hours and throughout the week, reminding ourselves that whatever challenge with which we are faced shall pass. that God doesn't grant us a problem which we cannot solve. The problems are but divine tools for us to develop skills that are latent in us. So, as we affirm to ourselves as children of God that this too shall pass, let us also seek for the value, the learning opportunities that are granted to us. This is our exercise of tonight, beautiful friends. Let us rest in the certainty that all shall pass and that only divine and unchangeable, imperturbable love shall prevail. Thank you, dear friends, for joining us. We already look forward to seeing everyone here next time. But in the meantime, let us stay tuned right here on Kardec Radio, where, as we know it, we are always nourishing our souls. Bye for now, dear friends.